It's Lewis at That Convention Guy Collectibles, and been noticing it's the end of the year. Noticing a whole bunch of people doing like room tours and things like that. And some of my videos, you know, you can see it in some of the backgrounds and things like that. But I figure I'll show you everything now. And while I do have like one space that I spend most of my time in, which I call my man cave, my stuff is kind of scattered throughout the basement in addition to that one room. So I figured I'd just go ahead and show you all the little pieces, and yeah. So here goes. Let's see. So I start in this hallway, and I have my Shaquille O'Neal autographed jersey, and I put these. This was custom done for me with this Beckett magazine, not your typical 8x10s that are included. This is one of those magazines that I got so many years ago, and I just loved it. It's the first one I had seen that Beckett did where it was the same person on the front and back. So I loved it. And of course, Shaq's my favorite player, so I just thought that was very fitting. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out signed, and the good Tecmo Bowl. For any of you who played Tecmo Bowl, come on, using Bo Jackson, that was just cheating after a while. All right, so and I'll start on this side. My Stranger Things poster that I started getting signed by some of the cast at cons. My listen to me. My Walking Dead poster. Gotten all those autographs myself. And we have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Negan, Daryl, Aaron, Tara, so on and so on. My Game of Thrones poster. Signed by, right there, I don't know if you can see that, the Mother of Dragons, Daenerys. Jon Snow, Kit Harington. I Drink and I Know Things, Tyrion Lannister. Sir Brienne of Tarth, one of my favorite pieces to get signed. Smallville, one of my favorite shows many, many years ago. I've seen it a couple times since. And that's signed by Clark, Lana, and why am I drawing a blank here? Lex, there you go. And then one of my favorite shows of all time, The Sons of Anarchy. I put their cards on the frame, but I also got the poster signed by Jax and Opie. And Opie inscribed, "I got this," from that famous scene, which we will not talk about. On the other side, from Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito, Gus Fring, Get Back to Work. We have Bryan Cranston. One of my favorite shows of all time, 24, Jack Bauer. One of my new favorite shows, The Mandalorian, and this one is signed by a bunch of the cast. Cobra Kai, also signed by majority of the cast. Dexter, signed by majority of the cast. Got this done. One of my favorites of Gus Fring that I had him do, with the awesome inscription, "If you try to interfere, this becomes a much simpler matter. I will kill your wife, I will kill your son, I will kill your infant daughter." Better Call Saul. Another Bryan Cranston. And Sopranos, signed by the late James Gandolfini. And now we'll go into my movie theater room, where I have some more stuff. I apologize for the darkness in here. Gladiator, Russell Crowe signed. 300, signed by King Leonidas. Braveheart, signed. All of these are signed. I guess I don't need to keep saying that. My Back to the Future poster, signed by the cast. And this one probably so doesn't fit with the rest, but one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, I saw this, and it was one of these movies that kind of inspired me to be a hustler and do better and try to succeed in life. So just, it's always meant a lot to me, that movie. And this one is signed by Michael J. Fox. Had him do that at a con. It was pretty awesome. So I just had to include it in my theater room. I do have the hoverboard down there signed. I do have a video of that. Another video. My Goonies poster signed by the cast. And by a few of the cast. My Lord of the Rings poster. With some awesome inscriptions and quotes from some of the cast. All the hobbits. There's the Godfather 3 signed by Pacino. Walk around the step here. My Tom Hardy, We Are Venom. This is my Harry Potter section. Daniel Radcliffe and Ralph Fiennes, Voldemort. Alright, so like I said, they're kind of spread out into the different rooms. Thank goodness, because I couldn't fit all this into one room. So now we'll continue. That's my game used Yankee base. We witness a 10,000th franchise victory. And this base is from that game. And then we'll start on this side. Got a couple things here. Pete Rose, Jim Kelly with many inscriptions, Buffalo Bills, full-size Jim Kelly poster, bunch of inscriptions, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 18 against The Rock, full-size poster. This I put together myself. Has the cards that spell out Hogan with but event-worn materials. And then dual signed the Hulk Hogan for the yellow and red, and the Hollywood Hogan for Life NWO. There's a Charlotte Flair up there. Another Hogan from WrestleMania 3, Andre Slammed. This is one of my favorite pieces. Had Hogan inscribe it. As far as I'm concerned, it's not signed in ink, it's signed in blood. That was that press conference right before WrestleMania 3. A couple of WrestleMania 3 posters. We got Goldberg. That's actually a t-shirt that I wore the first time I met him. And he signed the shirt, so I'll frame that too. Another Hogan there from WrestleMania 3. Another one. This is the, what do they call it? The press reliefs. One of my nice pieces from Dave Rector. Very awesome Hogan collector. Shout out to him. My cheese head from when I went to Green Bay. This is a little display I got from John Flanders, who does Flangster on YouTube. Big time statue collector. This is the Marvel 1/10 from Iron Studios. And I have some on the top. I'm still waiting for my glass shelf to be made to go right on top there. So for now, they're just on top. All right, moving on. We have Michael Phelps, Dan Marino, my boy Shaq. I don't know why I say he's my boy. He's not, but he's my favorite player. Ben Roethlisberger, J.J. Watt, Mariano Rivera, Roger Federer, Don Mattingly, and Ricky Henderson, two of my favorites from the 80s. Then we get into my bookcase. And I got Buffalo Bills helmet signed by Thurman Thomas. A couple of balls signed by the 4. Mark Levy. Shaq statue signed with a ball. Pop. Aaron Rodgers. That's a Mark Teixeira game used glove. Andy Pettit model signed. A couple more balls here. Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas. You can tell I like those Buffalo Bills guys. These are all signed. Either Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly. I think one of them is Bruce Smith. Coming to this wall, the Platinum Series from Steiner. of Joe Torre and Andy Pettitte. Another Andy Pettitte there. Mattingly. Thurman Thomas. One of my newer pieces, Jim Kelly. Got this done by Coaches Collectibles. Great guys over there. Dominic, shout out to you. Lots of inscriptions. And then one last thing, the Pete Rose bat. So I hope you liked the tour of my rooms with my cool stuff. More to see. So I have this bookcase here, but this is a hidden room, and this is my actual man cave space. So I'm gonna walk in here and close the door and just kind of do a quick 360 to show you what I'm dealing with here. My Lord of the Rings area, my statues. Oh, watching Lord of the Rings right now. My Yankee wall, and so much more. All right, so now let me take you a little bit closer, show you some of the cool things that I have in here. So we'll start up top with some more Hogans. I used to have a humongous Hogan collection, but I've kind of narrowed it down with the new spaces. Kiefer Sutherland from 24, love that. So I got 2 of those. And all these were done in person. I think I've bought a couple here and there. Johnny Depp, like I bought that, but this from the late Kevin Conroy. Inscribed, I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman. Love that piece. He was a great guy. My Walking Dead section. Had to condense this because I had way too much. This comic I've had signed by the cast. And I'm working on getting the big one signed by the cast. Some of the pops. Some of the 10-inch figures. And again, all signed. Over here we have some more pops. Things from Boys to Men to movies to different characters. We have Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. We have some Game of Thrones. That's all Game of Thrones. Here's some Breaking Bads, Sons of Anarchy, Back to the Future. Some of my horror pops. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Some more from Kevin Conroy. All right, moving on. Some of my larger action figures, like Hot Toys, all signed. Well, those 2 are signed, not the Breaking Bads. From Heroes, Siler. From Scream, got that signed. There's a bottle of tequila signed by Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul. Giancarlo Esposito's. The Terminators, from Terminator 3 and from Terminator 2. John Bernthal, the Punisher. Dexter. Some more horror. Kiefer Sutherland. Dexter's. Cobra Kai, that's signed by the entire cast. There's actually more signatures on the inside. Stephen Amell, the Green Arrow. And that's a big one signed by Thanos. Josh Brolin signed I Am Inevitable. Thor signed by Chris Hemsworth. Some Walking Dead pops that I couldn't fit over there. Then you get into my Lord of the Rings section. So we'll start up here with some signed pops and action figures. Sorry about the glare. So many lights in this room. So these are all signed. That's the big set signed by the 4 Hobbits. The blue set signed by the 4 Hobbits. And the green set signed by the 4 Hobbits. These are not signed yet. That is signed by Tario. And we got the big boy, Thranduil on Throne. I'll just take you down here and show you some of the statues. Got the minis down there. Those guys from Prime 1. And Treebeard. Obviously these are not done. There's going to be more statues coming in here. I've got some artwork coming for the back on cart. I haven't put in the lighting for these yet. These were just built recently, so not everything is done. Still kind of working on it. Sauron. I'm going to put that art print up on the wall. Alerts, more minis. And I'll show you these guys. Well, we have these Highland Mint game use pieces, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. White Knight Bat Cycle. Heath Ledger Joker. I know some people have said that they didn't like it. But me, I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. Of course, Superman Hush. Love this piece. This was actually, I think, my first non-Lord of the Rings statue I bought. Batman Hush, Batcave. And I'll come over here. Some more mini epics. One of my framed art pieces, signed by Frodo, inscribed. This one signed by 4 Hobbits. And the Treebeard, signed by the 2 Hobbits involved in that scene. I have this that I had made myself with the Fellowship. Mace of Azog. Azog. Fellowship, signed by the 4 Hobbits. Cave Troll. This is something that I had done, recommended by Josh Long, and it is awesome. Beautifully, beautifully done. There's lots of pictures. It is really, really cool. So I'll have to remember the name of that and let you guys know in the comments. My Hobbit collection with the masterpiece Gollum. Sorry about the glare. I'm getting some autographed cards to go down there. Down there, I have Peyton Manning autographed helmet and Aaron Rodgers autographed helmet. And those are game-used batting gloves, one of A-Rod and one of Jeter. A bunch of autographed baseballs. The Shaq shoe, one of my favorite things in my collection. Size 22. With his first NBA game ticket. And the program that was used for the draft. Some more autographed baseballs, Yankees. A couple Jeters, a couple Marianos. This is another cool piece in my collection. This is the 2009 celebratory hat. This is Locker Room Alex Rodriguez used. So if you remember the 2009, that celebration when they won the championship, this is the one he was wearing in the locker room that got champagne all over it. And that's why you see it's very, very discolored. Should be white. This helmet signed by the Bills Core 4, Bruce Smith, Jim Kelly, so on. This has been a cool project of mine, and it's a Hall of Fame helmet. It's signed by, I want to say about 18 Hall of Famers. Thurman Thomas, Joe Montana, Emmitt Smith, Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders, Andre Reed, Dick Butkus, and a couple others, I can't remember. Tiger Woods auto. This I put together as well. It was a very nice card game used from the Super Bowl he was in, the diamond and autographed football piece, as well as the card from his rookie year. Aaron Rodgers piece, and then my Aaron Rodgers card collection. With some shields, some Nike swooshes, a little bit of everything. Sorry about the glare again. We have Shaq. Told you he's my favorite player, so I have a ton of his stuff, and you'll see more later. Those are just some of my favorite cards of his. Down on the bottom, My Hero Academia Funko Pops, all signed by the voice actors. My now 13-year-old daughter got me into that show, and so we go to cons together and get some autographs. Guess I'll start on the bottom of this one. So there's more My Hero Academias. Again, all signed by the voice actors. Chris Sabat, very nice guy. There's my J.J. Watt collection, or at least piece of it. And then that leads me to Peyton Manning world over here, my favorite football player. And so there's his card collection. You see some shields, some swooshes, some Reebok logos, many autographs, and his Upper Deck piece, Art of the Pass. Going this way, that glare is terrible. Buffalo Bills, signed by the 4. My Sons of Anarchy, that I've gotten signed by a few of the cast, including Charlie Hunnam, Jax. There is my Buffalo Bills section. Thurman Thomas with a bunch of inscriptions. Beckett Magazine. Some of my favorite cards. Shout out to Don Hoyt for helping me complete this Andre Reed collection. My Bruce Smith Domination poster from the 90s, I believe. And I got that signed. Again, Coach's Collectibles. Thank you, Dominic. Amazing inscriptions. Bad Things, man. Those of you remember that commercial with Dennis Hopper. This is on my coffee table. It's a Sons of Anarchy book signed by the cast. At some point, I will open that Lord of the Rings book and read it. Just haven't done it yet. There's my Negan statues. They're still in the box. One's an artist proof, one's the regular. My Punisher figure signed by John Bernthal with pretty cool inscriptions and drawing. My Voldemort statue. And my 3-0 Walking Dead. A couple of them signed. Going back up, we have my Sons of Anarchy figure collection. Most of them signed. The only ones I'm waiting for is Gemma. I haven't seen her, but the rest, Opie, Clay, and Jax all on the top have all been signed and inscribed. Familiar, Jack Bauer. Jim Kelly with many inscriptions. Again, Coach's Collectibles. Here's my Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas card collection. Some pretty sick patches, but you can't really see because of the glares. There's my Thurman Thomas poster from the 90s, Terminator. Not signed. You come down here, we have more My Hero Academia Funko Pops signed. And I'll just walk around while I'm bending down because I'm too old to keep getting back up. And down. Again, all signed. Alex Rodriguez bat with his photo. Alex Rodriguez card collection, at least some of it. Love this piece, signed by Joe Torre, Reggie Jackson, Alex Rodriguez, and Derek Jeter. This was during the Alex Rodriguez press conference, announcing him as a Yankee. The Rocket, Roger Clemens. My favorite baseball player growing up, Don Mattingly. I won this at a charity auction back at the National a few years ago. Bat. Some cards. And then this piece that I just got done a few months ago. The Hitman poster back from the 80s with a ton of inscriptions. Again, huge shout out to Dominic. I don't want to butcher his last name, but at Coach's Collectibles, he got this done for me, and it was awesome. Some of the action figures of McFarlane's also signed. And we get into the Derek Jeter section. I know this video's taking a long time. I'm trying to go faster. Game used wristband. One of my favorite photos. I don't know why. My wife thinks it's very boring, but for whatever reason, I just love the look of it. I don't know if I like because the signature is off to the side there, not over his uniform. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I love it. Got this nice large one. Give you an idea of size. That Jeter's is 16 by 20. So you can see how large. That Mattingly is a 16 by 20, so you can see how big that Jeter is. If you think that's big, look at that Mariano Rivera. Got this done at the National a few years ago. Hard to see the signature because it's in a light blue. But there it is, Hall of Fame 19, 100% unanimous. Another one, Mariano Rivera. This, locker room plate. Authentic. Another cool piece. CC Sabathia collection. McGwire bat. My McGwire collection. Some cards. Another photo with tickets from 62 and 70. This piece I put together with a really cool photo. And then game used bat, game used base, game used ball, and a game used jersey. Love that. Some more autograph pieces. Ticket from number 70. 85 Topps poster. And then you get to the real big boy, the Michael Jordan. This was done by Upper Deck. I had it professionally framed in a red velvet, which to me just looks awesome with that Chicago Bulls red. And the one thing I skipped over was my Hogan collection down at the bottom. So you get autograph weight belt and some of the autograph figures. Then you get into those old school LJNs. Those are all different. So we have the 5-backed, 8-backed, 12, 22. One's graded. That was my first Hogan piece, that weight belt right there. The NWO belt, signed by Lex Luger, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hogan, Scott Steiner, and Ted DiBiase. Then you get into the big boy LJNs. The Hogan white shirt blue card, very hard to find. And if you look at it, it is phenomenal. I don't even know what this would grade, but it's almost perfect. Same with these. The black shirt, the red shirt black card. Again, hard to find. And in that mint condition, insane. 2 autographed collector's editions, 189 autographed and 1 not. Different color posters, or poster boxes, but both 89s. Then I got this poster, taking a step back here so you can see it's 24 by 36 full-size poster with a bunch of inscriptions. What you gonna do when 24-inch pythons run wild on you? Hulkamania for life. Hulk Hogan, WWF champ. We got signed. It's an actual film cell from, or used in the cartoon, Rockin' Wrestling cartoon back in the day. Some autographed cards and patches. The Hall of Fame program signed by Hogan. I don't know if you saw that piece. The WrestleMania 3 poster signed by Hogan. And it's inscribed, "I Slam the Giant." WWF Champ, Hall of Fame 05. Moving on to more of my Hogan collection. Couple of figures, the ring, the Fury with a nice inscription. Training Pridge Vitamins, brother. With the Terry Bollea inscription. Recognize that 16-inch LJN. A couple of the Funko Pops. Lucky enough to have one of the rare ones signed as well. Another LJN. This is the English version. Very nice inscription. Hulkamania Running Wild since 1984. This is the French version. I think it was produced in Canada and other places. Or sold in other places, I should say. My Winged Eagle. Signed and inscribed. And my 86. Last couple of figures and we're all done. These are different wrestlers. We've got the Honky Tonk Man and Lex Luger. Ted DiBiase, Honky Tonk Man again with nice inscriptions. Rob Van Dam, Mark Henry. And that brings us back to the front. One last thing I didn't show you was the card collection. So I had these cabinets made to house my cards. That is the baseball section. Some of the highlights in here. Got this Babe Ruth right there. 9.5. Clemente rookie. Koufax. Got a couple Mantles and Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. And we have the basketball section. Jordan rookie. Got Dirk, got a couple LeBrons, Magic, Bird, Pippen, a couple Kobe, Zion, a couple Charlotte Flairs down there. Over here is football. Stars from the 80s and 90s. Tom Brady's, Mahomes, some Marinos, Roethlisberger. I don't know if I showed you this side of this wall. We have Roberto Clemente, Mickey Mantle, Jackie Robinson, and Joe DiMaggio. And then on this side is the rest of my card collection. These are like the extras, the things that I collect. Not super high dollar, but you got some decent stuff. My Shaqs, my Alonzo Mourning rookie collection. This is my Shaq collection here. His rookie collection, I should say. So those are all different issues of his rookie card. And there's just stacks and stacks of them. I think the classic is what I have the most of. I think I'm about 1,100 at this point. Some more Shaqs. And over here, some football. My McGuire collections. And some of my graded McGuires. All right, my friends. Well, I almost couldn't get back up. I'm getting old. So that is my entire collection tour. Yeah. So it's 2023. I know I have a bunch of statues coming. I know I recently ordered Venom. So that actually just arrived. I have Berserker. I have Frodo Gollum, Smaug, the Dead Marshes. A bunch of different things coming this year. And I'm always collecting cards, so I'm constantly buying those. I guess there's a few more things I don't want anybody getting upset. Another one of those figures, but it's out of the box and it's signed. And same thing there. And then I have this, the movie tub, the DVDs inside, but it's signed by a few of the cast. There's a few on the back. There's that Gus Fring box cutter. Those who watch Breaking Bad would know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I think that's it. You know, let me know in the comments what you think. What are your favorite pieces? Maybe you have something that should be in my collection. You know, you can reach out and let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching.